The Everything Sequel podcast is brought to you by The Last of the Giant Fire Lizards and the Vegas Beer Guys. The Everything Sequel podcast contains explicit language. 'Cause we learned it from you, Dad. Hello and welcome to the Everything Sequel podcast. This is a Nightmare edition. Today, we're talking A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, known as the best film in the series. My name is Michael Schatz of the How Dare You Awards. Joining me, my dancing partner, Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions. Say hi, Tom.
There's got to be a reasonable explanation. I mean, animals don't just explode into flames for no reason, do they?
Come on. Perfect, amazing dialogue. For what was happening in that scene, can't get better.
Hey, no argument for me for what was happening in that scene. It's what's happening in that scene that's the problem. I'm not saying it isn't an accurate verbal description of what happened in the scene. It very much is.
You thought that would be your opening salvo, and I countered immediately.
And also, when I prepared that quotable, I had no idea that you thought so highly of this movie either. So,
or that,
it was by no means,
or that scene.
I thought we were gonna have. I thought we were just gonna have a shared joke at the ridiculousness of the scene, but apparently, this is tantamount to
Love it.
Offending you.
Love it.
And you took advantage of me not being able to speak before the quotable by saying it's known as the best film in the series. There's not many times on this podcast you can count on me being silent. But you sure exploited it.
Yeah, I'm taking every shot I can while I can.
Yeah.
Because this movie is the top of my list. It's way down on yours. What is it, 5th?
It's way down, but
bottom half.
But high up in my estimation.
All right, good. Anything to talk about before we? I was literally just gonna start getting into it, but normally
I don't think
we
so.
chat
I mean,
away.
Just to recap that this is our biggest discrepancy.
Yeah. In
our ranking, so we'll address that. But I expect you won't get much fight from me on anything. But there's a handful of moments I think that serve the film poorly.
Mm.
But beyond that, I think it's a good showing for Nightmare on Elm Street.
All right. Agreed, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an odd duck of a movie. Because it's really the only movie in the series, I guess, other than New Nightmare.
Yeah.
That really does... I mean, there's connection. There's connective tissue to the first movie. But this movie's doing something completely different than all the other movies.
Yeah, and I mean, it's worth remembering as well, this is the first sequel, so...
Yeah.
They have nothing but the original to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's there's no baggage. The mythology isn't set in stone yet.
Sure.
So they have more of a right to stake their claim to what the series is about. And they clearly want to do something different and radical with the format. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's sort of it's a little bit liberating as well that they see its potential for it to be something else.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I don't think I'm the first person who said that this is a possession.
A possession movie, right.
Sorry, yeah. And it's we talk about inversion all the time, and this is classic inversion territory. In the first movie, Freddy's trying to kill you in your dreams, and in this movie, he's trying to get into the real world to kill you. I mean,
so this is what this is a big sticking point for Wes Craven himself and for critics of this movie who say it grained against the formula, and
It did.
You-
But that's not a bad
you
thing.
can't have Freddy enter the real world. Now, I'll say this. I wish
Well,
the movie...
they do it again several times.
Yeah, that's true. Including Wes Craven himself.
Including Wes
So
Craven
I don't
himself,
know
most notably
what the fuck he's complaining about. I do wish the movie laid down the track a little bit better, and I don't think that they were fully conscious of this. But that's one of the things I like about this movie, is that Freddy enters the real world. And what I like about it, I mean, I'm self-retconning here in my own head for them, but I like the idea of, in the first movie, Nancy takes Freddy from the dream world into the real world so that she can kill him.
Yes.
And then they undo that.
As far as we can tell, that's what happens.
And then they undo that by having her, by turning to mysticism and sort of her just turning his back on him and taking away all energy, and he kind of disappears, right?
Teleports out of there, yeah.
But what I like is the idea of Freddy using that experience to himself say, if I get the fuck out of this world, I can kill myself some people in the real world. I kind of like that idea. I wish that it was a part of the film. And I know that I'm doing all the work myself for them.
Not all the work.
But it's a part of this
share.
movie. It's what he's trying to do. I'm giving the backstory of the reason why, and also the sort of learning of it. But I think that's a perfectly valid way to go.
I couldn't agree more. Yes, I think it is. And again, changing the idea of, what... I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street, this movie isn't necessarily about nightmares as much as it is about repressed desire expressed through dreams.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's all valid, and they have a right to switch things up. And if they're grinding against the formula, I think they're doing it with purpose and intent. And that's really all that matters.
What more can you ask from a sequel?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a lot more you can ask from parts of this movie, but it's got nothing to do with it being a sequel.
Yeah. But I mean, what I'm saying is, we talk about this all the time because this is the Everything Sequel podcast, and
oh, it is. Oh my
most
God.
people think that you have to give the audience.
I thought this was about set menus in LA restaurants. Sorry, I'm going to have to bring up another set of notes.
Most people think that you have to give the audience what they already had.
Oh, this movie is not interested in that.
Yeah, and to be honest, neither am I. I think we talk about...
Well, it's always got to be a balance.
Yeah, it has to be a balance.
And there's a natural balance when you use the same iconography, which they do.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I think that's a...
You're not getting rid of your villain. You do still have dreams.
Yes. Yeah, the idea of were they right to go so far outside the goalposts of the original movie, that's a non-issue for me. They absolutely have the right to do it, and I think they do it quite well in a stimulating and entertaining way.
Agreed. All right. We're talking A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. It's a 1985 movie, so it comes out just the very next year after the first movie. And despite all the kind of hatred we've talked about for the movie, it has 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, again, this is an 84 movie. It's before Rotten Tomatoes comes out, and so might be revisionist history because it's become a more interesting movie subsequently.
Did you say 41%?
41%.
I love the fact that you're not even acknowledging that we always have to take about 40 to 50% away because it's a horror movie. Right, so like you're right to respond that way, because to you and me that means that's like an 81 or 91%.
Sure.
Because but it's just crazy to me that horror movies are rated that low, and absolute garbage is rated really highly.
Yeah.
Movies that J.J. Abrams have made is rated higher than that.
Like Mission Impossible 3.
Oh, it's insane.
As I remember,
really...
you ranked that one quite high.
No. Only in context. No. Wow. That's just so depressing. I mean, I wish culture as a whole could get
understood the genre more.
Well,
or appreciated it
as much out of horror movies as I do.
Yeah.
And the hardcore horror fans seem to. They realize that these are not simple movies.
No, yeah, especially this movie.
Fuck. This one takes on so many different societal, sexual, and even political issues head on. And it's dense and rich with those. It's just, there's a lot of slick movies out there that just don't have half as much about them as this.
I know.
And they're getting like 85, 90% just because people like the scene where the gun went, you know? And this is, and I don't know. It baffles me. It baffles me to this day. I blame Siskel and Ebert. I really do.
Because of the binary?
Well, because they sort of set the tone.
They famously also don't generally like horror films, but...
Well, that's what I mean. The idea that you're either a respectable film critic or a lover of horror. It's just not true.
No.
You can be both. And you should be both, or you're missing some of the best cinema that the industry has to offer.
Sure.
Anyway. And this is not even that great an example of that, but it just astonishes me that you wouldn't get more out of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to analyze it. In fact, it's all surface level. That's what's great about it. There is subtext, but
yeah, but it's so much of the movie's text.
Text, yeah, super text.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
That just really.
Well, so
that hurt my heart.
So a friend of the show, Matthew Aldrich, sent me a text just yesterday, and I meant to pass it on to you. I will do after this recording. I can't remember the name of the guy or his podcast, but it's a debate between him and somebody who works for Rotten Tomatoes over Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, great. Sounds like...
So it's going to be right up your alley. And it was a very interesting conversation. And
well, yes, it is essentially valueless. I understand that, but it just depresses me. It's the tone of the conversation that depresses me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying not to sweat the numbers, even though they don't make any sense.
Well, I guess my point is that every time we talk about Rotten Tomatoes, you say, Rotten Tomatoes, I can't even trust you anymore. You're defunct, you're terrible, you're blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. I don't think the problem is Rotten Tomatoes. I think the problem is critics by and large. All they do is take their reviews, give the movie as a whole, an aggregate of all those reviews.
That's what they want you to think.
Well, you'll listen to the podcast, and
okay.
I found myself more often than not on the woman's side from Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah.
But
sorry,
that's a tangent.
It is. I derailed us.
All right. Let's talk. First of all, this movie, a budget of just $3 million. And I want to talk about this. An opening weekend of just $2.8 million. But in the USA and the world, $29.9 million, which means it had some staying power.
Yeah.
After that first weekend. And that says something, too.
Yeah, that's a story not often told, isn't it? I think that the narrative is that it falls away after people realize it's not as good as Nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Now
so clearly that's not the full story.
Now, Jack Shoulder, you might not know him by name, but I personally know these movies. Alone in the Dark.
I know that movie.
I always know that movie because I remember the leg with the hatchet on the VHS box.
I didn't say I've seen... Oh, on the box. I may have seen the box. I've not seen the movie.
Movie I always loved when I first saw it, called The Hidden. Have you seen The Hidden?
No.
Movie about an alien that likes, let's see, what do they like? Fast cars, heavy metal music,
Yeah.
maybe candy? Forget.
You thinking of Mac and me?
I'm not. But it's like a thing that enters a human body.
Okay.
And
Oh, well, he likes his possession storyline.
yeah, when he uses it, he discards it and he gets another new body. And so they think that these guys, it's kind of like, what was it? No, not Deja Vu. What was that? Fucking goddamn. What's that Denzel Washington movie where he's the cop?
Man on Fire?
No, he's the cop and somebody is going to be put to death, but actually he's a evil ghost or entity that enters the body and becomes serial killers. Anyway.
Isn't that Deja Vu?
No, it's a different movie.
How many movies can Denzel Washington make?
As many as he wants.
Apparently so.
He's earned it.
Yeah.
All right.
He can stop. We're good. I've seen your movies.
You're good.
I get it. I get it.
All right. I'll put him on the list of people you hate.
I don't hate Denzel Washington. I think he's the most handsome man that ever existed, and I think he's a great actor.
You made it sound like you didn't like any of his movies anymore.
No, but it's enough already. It's enough already with the keeping making movies when no one cares.
I'm happy to see Denzel Washington movies. He's in a new Spike Lee on Apple TV. I'll watch it eventually. I'm busy now with my horror watching, but...
Well, you mean that remake of
yeah,
Akira Kurosawa's High and Low,
Yeah.
one of the greatest movies ever made?
Yeah.
That's great.
That's the spirit. Do you know the movie Renegades?
I know the TV series Renegade with Lorenzo Lamas.
No, different.
Okay. Then I don't know Renegades.
I remember the box of that movie, too. What about Supernova?
This guy's done some good boxes in his time.
Do you remember Supernova?
How many movies has this guy made? Supernova, no. I mean,
After Supernova...
I know what a supernova is, but I don't think I've seen the movie.
It's a James Spader movie. When
Oh.
James Spader was at his absolute handsomest. He hadn't lost his hair yet. He's hunky in this movie. Like, he's working it.
You can talk.
I make it work.
You just dissed James Spader twice in the space of a minute. Wow. Didn't see that coming.
Well, to have such a great head of hair and then lose it.
Well, you know, can't have everything.
I'll say.
Can't have talent and hair. History's taught us anything.
All right. Now we get to the movies I don't know, which are Arachnid and Beeper.
I wish they were the same movie. It's just about an arachnid that swallowed a beeper.
But anyway, just again,
It's just going around going...
to reiterate, one of my surprises, I saw the name and thought to myself, that name sounds familiar. I don't know him as well as, like, I have name recognition for
Yeah.
other directors in the series, 3 of them, but this one I thought to myself, I think I know this guy. And then I saw Alone in the Dark and The Hidden, and I was like, fuck, I know those movies.
And when you see him in the 2 documentaries that we both watched,
Mm-hmm.
he looks like a director from an SNL sketch.
Yes, very much so.
So much so that he reminds me of the director that Christopher Guest plays in For Your Consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And when he starts talking about what with what's his name, Mark, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Jesse. What's his name? Mark? What's his name?
I can't come back.
Okay, I'll find it. When he's talking to him about what it was like directing him on set, I'm like, he kind of directs like that character in For Your Consideration as well. Just anyone has any different actors ask difficult questions and he just distracts them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like that moment where he's like, you seem to be out of sorts, kind of cranky. No, not cranky, out of sorts. What was your
Yeah.
deal in that movie? Did you have a problem?
What were you, a gay man living through AIDS
Were
or
you?
something?
Yeah, exactly. Can we talk about that for a second? Because
I don't know. Should we already?
I mean, we kind of have to. Like how?
Yeah, you do.
Because they didn't know he was not openly gay.
I don't take anything they say at face value. I think they're a bunch of homophobic men who.
Well, okay, fine. I agree with you in the sort of revisionist history aspect of none of this was on their minds. I think maybe they protest too much.
Yeah, because it's like whenever, you know, the way to know when someone's lying is that they all have an agreed upon story expressed exactly the same way.
Sure.
You know, it's sort of like they even use the same words to describe it. If anyone asks, right, we didn't know about this.
Well, the part that I take more issue with, but we'll get to that later as the movie goes on, is the idea that that they were oblivious to what they were making. Now, being oblivious to Mark Patton is a whole different thing because
Look at you pulled his name out.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
So,
and then made it look like you knew it all along.
I'm wily like that. But being oblivious about that, I think I buy a little bit more just because of the time they made this movie. And
But then why did they blame him for making the film gay?
they didn't, just the writer did.
They both said they both expressed the idea that it was the actor that brought in the gay themes, not the movie.
There's no way you can make that argument when you have
I know.
melted
They did.
candles that look like dildos,
Well, this is
and John Kerouac's On the Road on the goddamn desk open, and
well, that's the
naked
those
asses getting fucking towel
Well, I was
wet.
going to say those are the subtle nods.
Yeah, right.
That gymnasium sequence, there's balls everywhere.
Balls just flying in the coach's face.
Yeah. No, they knew exactly what they were doing, and to claim otherwise, I think, is just a residual homophobia. Reactive homophobia. That's what I think.
You know, you can choose to believe them or not. That second unit director, the one that directed the towel whipping scene, I believe. I kind of bought it from him when he seemed more forthcoming in the idea of, I can't believe it wasn't on my mind. I can't believe that I didn't think it at the time.
It just, to me, it smacks so much of workplace gaslighting that I think retroactively you have to, so you can exclude the person who is kind of, to make it look like the person in the know is delusional. Just because they understand what it is they're doing and know full well everyone else does as well. I mean, it hits me the wrong way. I mean, the other thing that they can do, whether it's genuine or not, is just take full ownership of the gay themes of the movie.
Yeah, why not? I mean, doesn't make any sense not to.
And I think the fact that they don't just speaks to what a horrible state even now our society's in.
Sure.
That they feel compelled to do that because they're still in the mindset where, you know, in the 80s being openly gay, was a risk to your career. So by association, you could risk your career by promoting gay themes as well in your movies.
Yeah, right.
But so they should take an ownership, and and even if it seemed like a huge about face, that would have been preferable to trying to gaslight us into thinking that they were oblivious to the themes and imagery of their movie.
Sure.
And by the way, it's not like there's any alternative reading of any of this.
I know that's the problem they have, right?
Yeah, that's the problem they have. If there was, it'd be a bit different.
Yeah,
but there isn't. So,
all right, we'll leave it for there. My first note is we have the an unknown to me New Line Cinema logo.
Yeah, well, not just New Line Cinema, but a couple of other fake-sounding companies. Heron Communications Incorporated and Smart Egg Pictures.
Smart Egg Pictures.
And not only do those sound even more made up than the New Line Cinema, but also just rewatching that documentary, realizing New Line Cinema itself, even at this point, is a fake production company.
Right.
And they've obviously recruited 2 other fake production companies to help them make the movie. Yeah, and they're pulling out all the computer graphics stops for the title cards.
Yeah, I got the
signature slashes
slash titles,
fat gray blot lettering. I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Is this the slowest a school bus has ever gone in recorded history? Because it's moving, but it's not getting in closer to the stop.
or towards the front of the screen.
Yeah, I have 2 competing theories. One, which this is the tip off that it's a dream. The second is that because the titles come in, they have to time it so it arrives just at the right point, and that means keeping it under a certain speed. Like they're doing the movie Speed, but in the context of film production.
Sure, maybe.
To time it with the titles coming on screen.
Yeah, my note was, I mean, they're sure showing us a lot. They show us a lot of stops, kids getting off the bus going on, another stop, parents waiting for kids, those kids get off the bus, let's go.
It's riveting.
Yeah, and just all of this, of course, Freddy Krueger is driving the bus, except it's not Freddy, it's...
Well, Robert England. Well, it is Freddy, but it's Robert England playing a bus driver.
Playing a bus driver, right?
He gets his credit over his cameo.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the film's private joke. And at this point, I don't think his face is well known enough to give the game away, right? That this is going to become Freddy. I don't think people know at this point.
I think they do.
That face is... Really?
Yeah.
They would probably just be like, oh, look, it's the guy from V. I don't think they necessarily know that's Freddy Krueger.
I think
it was later when the whole kind of interdependence of Robert Englund's face and Freddy's face kind of became, I don't know.
I think he's instantly recognizable out of makeup as Freddy. And I even remember thinking that back then.
Then this doesn't work if that's the case. It only works if he's still enough of an unknown face that it's...
Well, that's the thing that's weird.
Freddy.
Like, if you look at the IMDb notes will say something akin to, this is one of the few times that he actually shows his face in the movie. And I was like, well, that's not true. He's
once a movie, minimum.
At least every fucking movie.
In fact, I'm half convinced that he came up with the idea of New Nightmare just so he could get his real face in the movie more.
A little more, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and once we get inside the bus, it's interesting that he looks like a goth kid. We see Jesse for the first time, but it's not what Jesse actually looks like in the real world.
It's his, how he views himself, I think.
I think that, like it's you have to distinguish him from the other kids on the bus.
Yeah.
So it's not what makes him different in reality, but it's how he feels different from the
rest of the world.
Him. Yeah. It's a good look. I mean, I would have been happy him staying like this for the movie, but and then Freddy drives past the girls' bus stop and
into the desert.
Into hell. Yeah. So here, dreams are kind of like working as, again, like it was straight in with this idea of repressed desires. Jesse wants to get revenge on the kids who bully him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's, Freddy's cottoned
the
onto
conduit.
that. And, and he's created this kind of wish fulfillment revenge fantasy of them driving off a cliff.
But then he's scared himself too. So is it
Well, yeah, that he's complicit, right?
Yeah.
He's scared because he's complicit. He innately knows he's made it happen. I think he talks about this later in the movie, that he knows he's an accomplice, and that's kind of what makes it.
Yeah, right.
And again, that speaks to the sexual themes of the movie as well. It's like what he knows he is but doesn't want to be.
Mm-hmm. And just on a basic level, Freddy's standing up and cutting the seats as he's walking back towards the girls and towards what's the character's name that Mark Patton plays? Jesse Walsh.
Jesse, yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know if they go to night, but it's day in the desert, but then it's also cloudy, murky as we go on.
Well, it's sort of,
but it's good horror shit, and my heart rate is raising already, and Jack Shoulder is hitting the beats that a director you want somebody to hit in a slasher movie. It's all working.
It's and the production values are still decent. The model bus and the ground falling away.
Mm-hmm.
It's got this kind of fantasy art look about it that's
with the lightning strikes.
Mm-hmm. And again, like, it's an interesting take, because the protagonist is the bystander in the dream. The girls are the victims. So again, that's the idea of him being complicit rather than a complicit accomplice rather than a victim.
Yeah. Which
is kind of how they're changing the stakes on what Freddy's doing to people in dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Freddy is continuing his litany of serial child murder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Jesse's just kind of having to watch him do it. So again, that I sort of bringing in that idea of like shifting to voyeurism rather than victimhood. It's an interesting shift.
Yeah.
In the way dreams are used in these movies and what they signify. But yeah, I mean, but again, there's that solid bedrock of nightmare iconography, the signature finger blades, the scraping of the metal surface, cutting to and then the cut to the knife,
the slicing tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sort of like the imagery, the iconography, both of slasher films in general and Nightmare in particular.
I really like that hard cut because it's such a good close up, and you look at an everyday task that looks violent because the seeds are oozing out, and it looks bloody.
Also reminds me of Halloween 2 with when Michael takes the knife
from the
woman making
the sandwiches
for the sleeping man. Yeah, but once we get into the real world.
Well, then we go straight to racism, because we got Fu Manchu breakfast cereal.
Racism, but also what I would call, and this is not pejorative, so don't jump on me.
All right.
A sitcom reality.
How dare you? Just kidding.
This family is a sitcom nuclear family.
Absolutely.
Right down.
And it's being played for jokes, because he wakes up screaming.
It's very funny.
And then Clu Gallagher putting the paper down and looking up is pure sitcom. Yes. But it's very funny.
But also, the Fu Manchu breakfast cereal is kind of, I mean...
Fucking A, man. I didn't remember that.
And that's not real, right? Because America's crazy.
No,
okay.
No,
I just
no.
want
I don't think
America's
quite that bad.
You eat cereals called Count Chocula. I mean, Captain Crunch. Why would Fu Manchu be so out of bounds?
You know what was funny was when I first noticed it, I thought, well, there's no way Tom's not going to notice that breakfast cereal, but I got to definitely write down what it is. And I thought it was something that would stay in the background. And then the little girl just comes out and says, no, I want to look in the Fu Manchus so I can get the nails.
And it's also, it's a segue into the gay imagery as well. I mean, first of all, you get, naked teen male body dripping in sweat, screaming.
Yeah.
The daughter says, why can't Jesse wake up like everyone else, i.e. everyone not gay? Mm-hmm. And then this actual...
Why do you have to be different?
This actual line is said, I'm trying to get the Fu Man fingers. There are men's fingers inside cereals. But it's got like a triple meaning, because there's the kind of gay subtext, there's the Freddy's finger blades, and there's also the merchandising of Nightmare, which is happening at this point. So there's a lot going on in this movie that isn't given enough credit for. But also the fact that they're moving into the house gives this a kind of anthology.
This is a classic. Yeah, this is a classic horror trope of a family moving into the house that was haunted or problematic or whatever, is or where there was a murder or whatever. That's a common theme in horror franchises.
So it's
new family, who dis?
But that we start with the idea of the house is haunted rather than people, and then we kind of go back and forth throughout the series as to is the house the problem or is it the people?
Yeah,
and we kind of go back and forth, but they're very much starting with it's the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue, and then
it does seem to be.
We're not Meryl Streep arrives to pick up Jesse.
Yeah.
Also, as she's known to me, Pam from Seinfeld.
Absolutely.
Pam. Pam.
They both fall in love.
She can bring on the bacon and fry it in the pan. What does that mean?
Do they both fall in love with her? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
It's more or less. So Kramer falls in love with her. Jerry's not gaga over her.
Yeah, right. But he's dating her.
And when Kramer declares his love, then he starts to get interested.
Then he says, okay. Is she the librarian?
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
That's when Newman does the Cyrano de Bergerac routine.
That's right.
Yeah, it's the audience must be at this point surprised he has a girlfriend. But I gotta say, his father looks pretty surprised too. I know in the context of the story, it's because they've just moved in.
Yeah,
but the subtext of that is, I didn't think he was interested in girls.
Now that's subtext. Yeah, something that there's not a lot of in this movie.
No, especially when we cut to the homoerotic quality of male sports.
Yeah, I didn't have archery at my high school, by the way.
No, definitely not at mine. Whatever you might think about what British schools are like.
And I've got a list.
Wizardry, yes. Archery, no. But it's kind of interesting, like, when they're talking about how the coach gets his rocks off in S&M joints. In any other movie, this would just be plain homophobia. But here it speaks to the thing, like, this is important information.
Right.
But you can imagine this in just a regular sort of jock sports movie where they're just sort of like making a homophobic joke about someone.
Yeah.
And here's where we find out that the events of the first movie have become local legend. So even though it's kind of like an anthology style departure, we're tracking the aftermath of the original movie. Like we're finding it, we're kind of, and I think done quite carefully and subtly throughout the movie. We're sort of slowly finding out what happened to the family and specifically the mother.
Yes,
because none of that is answered by the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie does that, but the characters are finding out as we're finding out, so it's a bit more interesting than just kind of dropping the exposition.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's one of the things I like about this movie. I think it's pretty successful in how it drops that exposition.
Yeah.
And the exposition of the town of Springwood itself in later movies becomes really muddled and odd.
Yes.
Even in a movie that I like Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, how can you say that the whole town's forgot about him except the adults all know?
Geography is not that film's friend.
True.
And in Dreams and in both in Dreams and in Life, Jesse is the clumsiest teen I've ever seen in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's like silent movie comedian levels of slapstick going on. He's a one-man hazard. And I think that I really like that character now.
Mm-hmm.
It's relatable. it's it's one of the ways in which giving us a male protagonist who doesn't have the qualities of traditional masculinity is kind of radical and innovative.
I think that's an interesting thing about this particular movie, is that when you watch Scream Queen and see how he even became an actor in the first place by knocking on an agent's door and just saying, "I'd like to have a job as an actor, please."
Maybe that's what Rennie Harlan was.
Yeah, exactly.
Was remembering.
And just the idea that they said, "All right, come back at 11," and they didn't even care what he sounded like because he was such a handsome guy.
Yeah.
And when you talk about people that saw him at that time, they all just thought of him as this beautiful, beautiful guy.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, when you put him next to, what's the guy's
Grady?
name? Yeah, Grady.
Not Bruce Campbell.
he's like your classic jock, and he plays it to the hilt in this movie.
Sure does.
I love that scene where he's eating.
The lines help him too.
Yeah, right. But it's funny that you have these two different representations of masculinity side by side next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie, for quite a while, like when they have to do the stay in the push-up position from Dick Coach, in all of those moments, it's as though he seems like a regular guy, and well, he is a regular guy, but
I know what you mean.
But you know what I mean? Like the movie is saying that this is a heartthrob, but he also is playing kind of the outsider just because he's new. And one thing I like about this movie is a trope that they don't go down, which is that these guys stay enemies.
Mm-hmm.
I love that scene when the snake's on him and he gets in trouble in class.
Yeah.
And Grady's laughing at him, but he laughs too and gives him the finger. And it's like they've already become friends. I like that they become friends in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, part of it is that they kind of have to because they're representing a gay-male relationship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it doesn't have to. The relationship is... Yeah, I mean...
Well, for the movie that they're making is what I'm saying.
Yeah, true. And it's nicely done, the reintroduction of Freddy, just peppering in the mythology and the dreams. Like, we see the boiler room in one of
the boiler room that's in his own house, and
well,
he's finding the glove.
Later in the movie, we'll find out it's part of a power plant, which I don't remember that from the first movie, but whatever.
Hey, when you find a great location, you find a great location.
It's interesting where we are. Something else we have to track is where we are in the development of Freddy, because, the voice, the eyes, the shadows, the finger blades, puns. He talks about being the brains and he's the body. He's still more threatening than funny, but it's evolving already.
Right. It's opening up.
The personality is evolving to closer to what we'll end up with.
But I do like that it's opening up, but the focus is still on scary in this movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It remains threatening.
Yeah.
When it stops being threatening, I think that's when it becomes a problem.
For your top movie. Interesting. Let's take a break.
Whoa! Putting sunglasses in something doesn't make them less threatening.
You don't think so?
No.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll come back and discuss that and other things right after this. It's time for Lizard vs. Wizard, in a brand new action-packed comedy fantasy adventure book written and performed by Christopher John Featheroff. It's called The Last of the Giant Fire Lizards. When her nest is destroyed and her forever mate slaughtered, Zephyr Ignitus, the last of an ancient breed of fire-breathing dragons, gathers together a team of saber-toothed panthers, woolly mammoths, and a crew of howler monkeys, brandishing swords and weapons stolen from the ships of men, all to hunt down and scorch the evil beast-killing wizard that did her wrong. The Last of the Giant Fire Lizards is a fast-paced, R-rated comedy under the cloak of an epic, rip-roaring fantasy adventure. Set in a land of fire and magic, it follows the dragon on her quest for vengeance, as she visits strange new cities and mystical places, all to hunt down and slaughter a demented sorcerer that slayed her mate and blew up her mountain. The Last of the Giant Fire Lizards can be found in ebook, paperback, and audiobook. Try and find it on Amazon or on Kindle. That's The Last of the Giant Fire Lizards. Find it wherever you get the good books just as soon as you can. And we're back. Tom and I are here discussing A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Directed by Jack Shoulder. No you. Shoulder.
Just in case you were worried.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of talked about it, but we have this scene in which he, and I think it works on that scary level of him finding that glove and coming up, and when Freddy grabs him, this is not the first moment, obviously, but this is, now we're in a moment in which Freddy is also going to be overtly sexual with the main character, just like he would with a woman.
Right.
And so, again, it's just like another layer added to this movie. And then to hear them talk about it, him asking for permission to do this or that, to stroke his face with the razors and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All of that's super interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's undeniable that the Freddy's manifesting his repressed sexual desire. I mean, it's overt. It's out there on the and what's happening in the movie. You don't have to read into it. When they get into the classroom, the digestive system lesson that Mr. Shea, the biology teacher, is
science class, yeah.
Is this the first example of a lesson that doesn't have anything to do with the film in a horror movie?
Right? Yeah.
Only if you read a hell of a lot.
You don't see that in Halloween, yeah, exactly.
I mean, the movie's not about the digestive system.
I don't think so.
Unless
I missed something.
Except that it ends at the butt. I suppose that's the only connection. And this movie's about butt sex. But apart from that, this literally has nothing to do with anything. It's just another excuse for Robert Shea to do his terrible acting.
How was the movie, honey? Pretty good. It was about butt sex.
When the snake is curving around his body, I wrote the note. I said, this is a gayer movie than The Wizard of Oz. But what was great about that is it's not a fake out. You instantly assume it's a fake out, but it's
actually happening.
There's a loose snake in the class, and it's going. It's
and the teacher gets mad at the kid.
And it's going around his body. I say that's purposeful silliness right there.
That's funny.
But it's definite silliness, but I don't know how purposeful it is. We got to talk about the father and the birds.
Yes.
I mean, again, I get it. This is like something you would get in a sitcom, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes the real world more dreamlike than the dream world. Because it's so arch.
I know, that's what I like about it.
But I don't... Yeah, it doesn't... I don't know.
I mean, it's a clear reference to the birds.
I mean, this is before, I think, the birds explode, right? Or did the birds explode now, or a little bit later?
No, I do think that's later.
Yeah. I'm just talking about, the introduction of the birds.
The introduction of them?
Well, what's happening now is another famous moment from the movie, which is the dance.
Yes. Oh, that's right, because he comes downstairs. He wants to go to Lisa's, but Dad won't let him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the idea that the actor made it gay is ludicrous. I mean, think about all the other elements of the scene. The choice of song, choreographing, and filming close-ups of his groin and butt.
That's the part I was going to say, was that I know that
him
Mark
being
Patton,
walked in on and being embarrassed.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Patton
he can't improvise that.
Right. He was nervous about doing it at all. Then he's just said, I came up with this plan. I'm going to do it. But he to this day says it was in the script that I hit my ass against the drawer 3 times.
Well, also
and you can't do a cutaway shot of that and then blame him.
Cutaways and close-ups, right? I mean,
it's
those
ridiculous.
Those are filmmaking choices,
right?
And even if you're enhancing what the actor's doing, you can cut it in a way that if you don't like that, which they claim they didn't, you could film it a different way and get a totally different meaning out of it.
Of course.
And they chose not to, because it was the plan all along.
Maybe it was their repressed plan.
Yeah. It's kind of... I got the feel when they start reading the diary that they find.
Yeah. And I already talked about it, but this is where you see the dildo candle, the Kerouac book.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that this wasn't a plan.
It's a gay escape room.
Yeah.
Well, that was my note, that it starts to feel like an escape room when they're reading the diary looking for clues.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I like the idea, and this is something we see in a lot of sequels, like having the legacy characters appear in print and in voice rather than in person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, typically done by looking at a photograph, but reading Heather's words.
Heather's right, her diary.
Is a good way of kind of keeping the continuity without, needing to bring back all the legacy characters and actors.
Yeah, I think it was really smart. And I like the way he's, within the guise of the story. Do you think that the character is supposed to know that he's gay already, or is he discovering that throughout the film?
I think, it's latent desire, which is why it comes out through dreams. Was the way I read it.
Because that's the way I read
it. I think he's the one person who's not supposed to know.
Yeah, exactly.
But ironically,
when he's reading the diary, he's reading it in this way where he's trying to be flirty with the woman,
mm-hmm.
and then he reads out loud the bit about the razor fingers, and realizes that this is the dream he's having.
Yeah. I do think, given all the various clues Jesse's had throughout the first act of the movie, he is remarkably slow to put it all together. Would be an extraordinary coincidence, all these things being independent of each other.
Yeah, but I never give a person... I give a person a lot of leeway in the huge rationalizations that they...
You never do. You're always harping on that when we talk about movies. You're always saying that everyone's slow to the mark and should be putting it together quickly. Only when I start bringing it up about characters in movies you love, does that change?
No, I think it's very easy for him to say, I'm sure it's a coincidence. I don't know.
The blade fingers?
Yeah. Maybe I picked up that diary once before and read a passage.
Oh, look at you. Now you're self-retconning.
I'll say. Did you notice right after that scene that, I can't remember. I can't remember how she leaves, but he walks down the hallway outside of his room, and on the wall, there's a painting of one dog humping another dog from behind.
I didn't notice that, but that's...
fucking amazing.
That's hilarious. Yeah, they just accidentally chose that painting out of all the paintings that exist in whatever junk shop they bought them from. Well, I mean, what's interesting is, and I like how clear it is as well, how the dynamic of the dream shifts. So it's not, Heather and the other victims in the original are always being pursued and trying to get out. Jesse's willingly going to the boiler room in his dreams.
Mm-hmm.
It's a totally different dynamic. He wants what Freddy's offering in spite of himself.
Mm.
And so that's an interesting
after this
twist.
Is the part where Freddy says, try it on for size,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. And kill for me.
Yeah.
And again, I think the fact that the possession storyline is a kind of outgrowth of the idea of sexual repression, that there's a man inside me trying to get out, and he'd like a man inside him. Like, I know people have issues with it becoming a possession story, and I don't because thematically it's the way to do that. And you don't take dreams out of the equations. Dreams are the platform
by which he's going to take possession.
Right. And dreams are where you have these repressed desires. So it all tracks for me.
Me too.
And even right down to when Grady, Jesse asked Grady about his dreams, and he said, "Do you remember them?" And he says, "Only the wet ones." I mean, we're overtly sexualizing dreams. The dreams are sexual symbolism, so there's nowhere to hide here.
No, there's not. And not just that. Like, there's another... It happens several times in the movie, and right here is another moment, because after the try-on for size, that dream with Freddy, the very next scene is him telling Lisa about the dream.
Yeah.
And I found... Because he does this several times throughout the movie, and what's very interesting to me about it is that is something in other movies that people keep secret for a long time.
Yeah.
Until they happen to hear somebody mention something that relates to their dream, and then they're like, oh my God, me too. Whereas he's confessing this to Lisa, kind of like girlfriends that talk to each other, and they have no secrets from each other. That's in those moments, that's how that relationship seems to pan out. And in that way, they're best friends, but best friends that can never be together.
Yeah, completely.
So that's more subtext in a movie that doesn't have a lot of subtext.
Well, that's the thing. I think it does. Like, it does, but homosexuality isn't the subtext; it's the text. But I do think it has subtext too.
Yeah.
It's a movie about subtext. It's about how the subtext of your life is what you're actually living through, but you only experience it in your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, tell me why the exploding birds is good.
I don't know. I honestly really like the camp of it.
I wrote that down. I said it's Freudian camp.
And
it's a weird...
They all when they describe the filming of it, they describe it as like this thing where they're all saying to themselves, this doesn't work. And yet, I see something that's edited in a way where I see the bird knock over a lamp, and I'm like, well, I kind of like that. I mean, it doesn't look like a real bird, but it's quick.
Well, neither it doesn't in the original Birds either. So
yeah, sure. So what are you getting mad about? And then
I'm not getting mad. I just think.
No, I don't mean you specifically. I mean the world at large about this scene.
Yeah,
like
it doesn't bother me, but it's not the movie's finest moment.
No, I don't think it's the movie's finest moment, obviously. But that low shot and the feather after the explosion and the feathers coming down.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of comedy gold. Really makes me laugh.
They get the birds explode, and then we have lots of like mundane conversations about it having happened. So it's sort of like, is this the dream world or the real world? Because this feels more like a dream than what we see in the dream. I don't know if that's the point they're making.
I guess what I liked about it too was that the dad also immediately blamed Jesse for it.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
And I think they need to make a clear distinction if they're doing the idea that reality is more absurd than dreams. Mm-hmm. I think they have to make a clearer distinction between that and just arch stereotypes and sitcom-like situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that distinction is clear. I never quite know what side of the joke they're on.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and I mean, not that we need to keep arguing that there's gay themes in this movie, but he goes to a same-sex S&M club in his dreams. and his football
Well,
coach.
I think in life, too.
Oh, is he going there in reality?
I think so. The coach is there.
No, it turns into a dream because that's not really happening with the balls flying and the showers squirting and the tied up spanking. That's not really happening, is it?
I think it is.
That's happening in reality?
I think Freddy's making that happen, yeah.
Well, he's bridging two realities together like J.J. Abrams' Star Wars film.
Well, that's the I think it.
But he goes in the like the VIP room of the S&M club, and it becomes
so the entrance into the bar feels dreamlike.
But it becomes the shower, the changing rooms at school.
Yeah, but like you see the coach take him away from the bar,
Drives him to the school,
and then they cut to the school.
I think this is happening in a dream. I don't think
he's found. The coach is found at the school. Don't they say that the coach was found dead at the school the next day?
Well, that's pretty muddy if that's what's happening. I assumed it was all happening like in a kind of limbo between dreams and reality at most. I really didn't think it was all happening in reality. Interesting.
But that's the thing, is that one thing I think this series as a whole doesn't do very well. I think it's odd that so many characters fall asleep and then wake up in the exact place that they were asleep. And then we go from there.
What, that there aren't more sleepwalkers?
No, because that's just not how dreams work. I've never once fallen asleep and then dreamt that I was in my bed and then got up from my bed. And
yeah. No, well, that's movie language, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have to have that. So, and most of it's to fake you out as an audience.
That I know, yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. In fact, the opposite is true.
Right.
You're suddenly somewhere else.
You're just suddenly somewhere.
That is not you lying in your bed sleeping. I mean, it does happen from time to time. I mean, I've certainly had dreams where I imagine I wake up, get ready, leave the house, and then I wake up realizing I haven't done any of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the norm is it takes you to a different place. Yeah. So you like the idea that whatever the dreams are doing, it's like sending Jesse halfway over town.
Well, because the cops find him. The cops make it out on the streets.
Yeah. But I thought there was ambiguity there, that whether it really what part was dream, what part was reality.
You might be right about that. Maybe I was,
because Freddy can't make the balls fly like that.
Why not?
He hasn't got those powers. At least the movie's telling us he hasn't got those powers yet. Otherwise, what's the big deal about... If he's already got this power, why does he need to do the big pool party reveal?
Well, he's not coming into the world. He's just shooting balls.
Okay. You have a relationship with this movie that I struggle to penetrate. I feel like I'm getting between the two of you.
Leave us alone.
The interesting thing is as well, it's not like generic gay imagery. It's like specific fears and desires, like, am I going to be a top or a bottom? Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm submissive, but maybe I want a dom. So I'm like, it's sort of like exploring and finding sexuality in his dreams. Mm-hmm. Which again is sort of like, there's no other reading of this. There's no alternative. It's as plain as the nose on your face, as they used to say.
Sure.
Or the dick in your pants, I suppose. But it's this is where I do think like the portrayal of the father is like when he brings him home, he's sort of a father who kind of exists perpetually in an after-school special. Like he's like,
that's true.
He lives within the fictional reality of an after-school special. Yeah. Because he's trying to rationalize his son's transgressions through drugs, right? He's trying to sort of saying that he's on drugs. And
Jesse confronts him about the house, and it's it kind of feels kind of Poltergeist related. Like you just got a deal on the house because it was a fucking haunted murder house.
This would, I mean, and this scene sort of makes.
And then that toaster catches fire.
The scene where he says, you know, my son's on drugs and he's, you know, a lost cause and he needs a methadone clinic and that stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if that kind of spoke to, you know, people who are finding out they're gay and their parents just won't accept it. You know, is this?
Yeah, right.
Is that what happens? Do they just throw any other kind of rationalization that they can think of other than what they don't want to believe?
Yeah, and I think for what this movie appears to want to do, it works on that level, that idea of, this is happening to me, Dad. And he's, in other words, this is who I am, Dad.
Yeah.
And Dad cannot accept it.
No.
And wants you to do something else. You know, methadone clinic is kind of the replacement for conversion therapy. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm sure it reads that way to someone who's actually gone through it.
Sure.
We get the return of the jump rope girls.
Yeah, I have that note.
Which seems redundant.
Because they're in the room, right? Like, he's walking the hallways.
I just like how, you know, this movie's kind of giving us these reassuring glimpses of the mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than trying to remake the first movie. And I think the best horror sequels kind of do that. But yeah, and this is, I guess, the part of the movie where you fold the father into the original cover-up.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea of, like, buying the house and kind of, it's like a cover-up upon a cover-up, basically. Like the last days.
Well, it's his own cover-up with his family. I mean,
yeah.
He couldn't afford a house in this neighborhood otherwise, so and he's going to ignore.
He spends so much on birdseed. I mean, how can you afford anything?
We've got 2 of them.
So I guess, I mean, partly that's why he's portrayed as such an imbecile, right? The idea that he's willingly suspending disbelief about what this house is and why no one should be living in it.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to the theme of the original, which is parents covering up crimes and murders from children. And they've just kind of passed that on to a new generation, which is, spoiler alert, what parents do to their kids.
All of them.
Inflict all their wounds on... Yeah. Rather than the kids learning from the parents, the kids become the parents and fuck their children up in exactly the same way. Yeah, so, well, this is my next note is Freddy's power plant, which we talked about.
Is that where they go?
Yeah, they go to the...
Because she
She
has that line, too, on the way in the car. She says, just because you dreamed it doesn't mean you did it.
Mm.
And that seems like a line that's coded to me.
Yeah, and I think that's why I always interpreted the S&M locker room scene as kind of ambiguous. The plausible deniability. If you're not willing to admit that this is who you are, you can just say, "Oh, it was just a crazy dream."
Yeah, right.
But it sort of doesn't really matter whether it happened or not because the desire is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you did it or you just dreamt about it, you're speaking to the same desire within you to do it.
Sure, yeah, right.
Kind of they talk about this in in the movie version of American Psycho as well. It's sort of like the fact that he didn't probably kill the people he thought he did doesn't make an iota of difference. He thought about it in enough detail and imagined it happened to the point where it remains. He
thought it was real.
It remains as dangerous.
Yeah.
And there's also, the potential of killing his own sister as well.
Yeah, there was a nice camera movement I noticed in that portion.
I mean,
like the camera moving upstairs to the sister, it was like a one shot kind of.
But it's interesting. Again, that's an inversion because the threat in the original Nightmare is your loved ones are going to get killed.
In this, you could kill them.
In this, you kill them, and in the original, it's your loved ones could get killed, and you could get framed for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one believes it's the Sleepy Time killer, No, we haven't used that in a while, have we?
Killer, that's right. Yeah.
No one believes it's a sleepy time killer. But in this one, it turns out on its head. It's like the sleepy time killer will make you kill your own loved one, so you will both be responsible, and he'll still be the murderer.
Yeah, right.
And he has to go back to the wake up strategy, right? The
stay awake.
The stay awake, yeah. So that kind of, again, not laying the foundations of the mythology down too thickly, just kind of peppering it through the movie.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel at all like a remake or a derivation of the original.
Mm-hmm.
Should we take... I don't know how far along we are, but should we take another break? Because I want to talk timeline.
Oh, I want to talk timeline.
And those discussions tend to go on because they're ultimately unresolvable because the timelines are just wrong.
Yeah.
but we usually have a conversation about them where we pretend we can make sense of them. So let's do that one. Let's continue.
I think we have enough time. I think we can talk. Let's just go on.
So the movie was released 1 year later, but it's 5 years in world.
Correct. And then the next movie is 1 year after that.
So
this movie is taking place in 89.
And the next one takes place in 1990.
Correct. After that, I think we just reset to...
So...
Like, they stopped mentioning that timeline at all after that.
I guess it... Oh, no, I think Freddy's Dead has a pretty big... like a re-timelining at the beginning.
I did notice on this viewing of Freddy vs. Jason, the sheriff...
Uh-huh.
At one point says, we've had 4 years of calm and peace.
Stop talking about any specific time period in a slasher. Have we learned nothing over the years? Don't give anything away with regards to years, months, days, because it never works.
How about that front door, too? That front door goes from blue in the original to red for most of them, and then I was very surprised to see, well, I think Wes Craven turns it back to blue.
What the question? Yeah.
In New Nightmare, and then in Freddy vs. Jason, it's like yellow.
At least it's not day-glow green like everything else. Yeah, it's interesting. Everyone sees a slightly different color.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of it being 5 years later? For this movie,
couldn't tell you. I don't know why.
It makes
this
sense
matters.
for the next movie because Heather's got to have become a medical professional.
Adult. Yeah.
So it needs to be at minimum 6 years. 6 years is already pushing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But for this movie, it could be a year later with no loss to the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it would make more sense that, Oh, I mean, is the idea that the house just decreased in value to the point that even Birdseed Joe could afford it?
I'm not even sure that guy has a job.
That's a really...
He's always at the house all hours
like
of
I
the
say,
day.
He's perpetually trapped in an after-school
working on
special.
toasters and gutters and bird cages.
He lives between the hours of 3 and 6. He lives in the after-school special world. Well, I'm glad you didn't understand why they made that choice.
It's the one flaw.
As we're talking about this, I'm seeing less and less to dislike. I gotta tell you.
Right? Come on.
I didn't dislike much to start with, but everything that I've mentioned, mainly because I'm talking to you about it, doesn't seem like such a big deal.
Yeah.
Because your response to everything is, sure, why not? Why can't birds explode? What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Nonplussed reaction to it? Okay, they're just weird.
Well, what do you think? You mentioned that... Oh, do we need to take a break now?
No, we're fine.
Grady, you talked about he hams it up to 11.
When he's eating?
Well, like, I wrote down he's pretty good value for the goofy friend. Yes, eating while speaking is the, like...
Yeah.
I think he made, like... This performance could have been, like, many of those in Freddy, those kind of forgettable Friday the 13th victims. But
Yeah.
he kind of makes it count with those little bits, like eating while he's speaking, and the kind of lots of raised eyebrows as well. Like,
I think he's just
like a
interesting.
smart guy playing a jock is the sense I'm getting.
Exactly, yeah. And what I like about it is that he's not a stock character. So he, in that way, because if he's not one-dimensional in the sense that he's just an asshole jock.
Yeah.
He can be an asshole jock, like when he pantses you and then wrestles you when you're half naked on the ground at PE. That's dickish behavior.
I think that's what I like about it versus some of those archetypes in Friday the 13th, or indeed in some of these movies as well.
Yeah.
But it kind of breaks free of those confines a little bit.
Yeah, he's not Flash from Spider-Man.
But how much is that the performance and how much is that the movie? I could never really tell.
I think it's a little of both.
Okay.
But I like his take on it, too.
Yeah, I do.
I think it's mostly performance, and I like... it's interesting because we have... we're not there yet, but when it comes to his death scene,
mm-hmm.
I love that moment in the documentary when Shoulder says... Because Robert Shea wanted to play that character, and he goes, no, I need a real actor in that moment.
More directors should have pulled rank on that.
Fucking amazing. So good.
No, you don't get to play.
But it's interesting
you don't get to play real parts. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're being ridiculous right now. You could be in the S&M bar and you don't speak. You just grab his arm. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Put
yeah.
These spikes
in
on.
this movie, he's only in the S&M scene. He's not he's the teacher in the later movie. He's not the biology teacher too, is he?
No.
Okay.
That would be weird.
Well, I'm sure
if the S&M bar is real. Because if he had like that dual life,
that would make more sense. It's like the teachers, it's just like a, it's like a
just a night job.
It's a field trip. Field trip to the S&M bar. Well, this all I have before the pool party. So is this a good time to take a break?
Yeah, I guess we'll take that break now.
Because once it's like Pringles. Once you pop the lid off this pool party, it ain't gonna stop for a while.
Yeah.
Got a lot to talk about.
It's a mad rush to the end, but it's a good place to stop. Yeah. So yeah, we'll stop here. You're fucking break happy. I like it.
No, I don't want to. I feel like everything is a can of worms.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And I don't want to have to reclose the worm can. Halfway,
I never know with you how
pulling
I
out
never know because we spend talking generally at the beginning of each episode.
Yeah,
and so we get kind of deep into our first segment before we start the movie proper. And I never know how quickly I used to be able to gauge you better about how fast you're going to move through notes. But you're throwing me curveballs lately.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'm trying to be more disciplined with my note taking.
Good.
And I think, it's a sign of a good movie, right? That you don't have to.
Yeah. You're
not stressing everything. You kind of just let parts of it wash over you.
Let it flow over you, right? All right. Well, back to the pool party.
Speaking of washing over you, let's go back and talk about the pool party.
Right after this.
I like to think I know something about beer, but nowadays even I get overwhelmed when confronted by the exhaustive selection of craft beers they have at bars, breweries, and even grocery stores. Back in the day you had one, maybe two craft beers to choose from, and if you were confused, you ordered a Guinness. But in beerstinations like San Diego, the craft beer options lately are in double, sometimes even triple digits. So what's a beer drinker to do? You need what I need, the Vegas Beer Guys. Your beer of choice should be a perfect blend of malt and hops. And so a live show about beer needs that same balance. And the Vegas Beer Guys matches beer expert Dan Aker with self-proclaimed beer novice Stephen J. Weiss. The results are eminently drinkable. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. They'll try new beers, they'll tell you about beer. Think of them as your beer Sherpas guiding you up a foamy-headed mountain to reach the peak of your pint. God, I need a beer.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Tom and I are here discussing Friday the 13th, Part 2, Freddy's Revenge.
You want to take that again?
What?
You said Friday the 13th, Part 2. I was trying to give you a chance to realize your own mistake, but it clearly wasn't going to happen. You said it with such confidence. Listen, you listen when you're editing the episode, you'll see that I very nearly say Friday when I'm trying to say Nightmare, so I understand.
Oh, what am I doing?
No, that's all right.
That's great.
Friday's,
of course I meant
Friday's
we're talking,
Revenge.
talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. I got the Freddy's Revenge. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, there was not even Jason's Revenge.
Oh, fuck.
Is there a Jason's Revenge? No.
No.
He does everything, but he wasn't big on revenge, Jason, was he?
No, yeah, well, yeah, no. He seemed unmotivated, or
it was just like a job to him, I think. That's what I liked about it. It was just part of his daily routine.
It's just like it's like I'm not gonna clean my shack. My shack stays dirty. Yes. What it needs is more blood.
I'm not gonna go to school because I'm an idiot boy. So.
All right, as promised, we're supposed to talk about this pool party.
Yeah. Well, it's we have another broadly defined embarrassing dad.
Yes.
Trying to play Benny Goodman records at this party for 80s teenagers.
Pretty funny.
What I like
is that the whole party goes with it.
Yeah.
It just waits for him to go to bed.
It's funny as well, like the code, we talked about what's coded and what's not. I mean, everything's coded, but his girlfriend and her female friends trying to figure out what's wrong with Jesse. I mean, it's almost like call and response. Like the audience should be saying, "He's gay!
He doesn't want you!
He's flaming!"
In the middle of this party, he's gonna go to the one he wants.
What doesn't make sense about this whole waiting for the dad to go to bed scene is they confuse sound and sight. Because they change the music as the lights go off in the bedroom.
Surely he's asleep already.
I mean, he's not like a bird in a cage, for instance. It's not like he turns the light out and he immediately falls asleep. I mean, he's still gonna hear what's going on outside.
Right.
Light changes nothing about audio.
It's amazing.
And this is, again, it's like the reality is weirder than the dream world.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's all the kind of Pam from Seinfeld and Jesse are sort of somewhat getting it on, and
he's kissing tits, and then the Freddy tongue flops out.
Basically, in a threesome with Freddy, an unwanted threesome with Freddy, and yeah.
But there's no way you can miss the coding of, "I am disgusted by this woman.
No,
I am going to run away."
Yeah. I mean, first of all, great prosthetic work once again. Like they're keeping they're keeping up appearances when it comes to that. But extra phallic tongue. That tongue has never been more dick-like.
Yeah.
And it never will.
I wrote down that he had a lot of gross woman energy.
Well, also,
like, ick.
you just have to look.
Ick.
You just have to look at the sequence of story events as well. Jesse leaves sex with his girlfriend to wake up his best male friend in his own bed.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's amazing.
All of those choices, conscious or not, speak volumes.
When Grady says, "And you want to sleep with me," I kind of thought of it. You want to be my latex salesman.
It's very Laurel and Hardy, isn't it? Hard-boiled eggs and nuts. Well, I mean, the wording as well. Like he says, "There's something inside of me trying to get." Like even the wording.
Yeah, because that's what Jesse says first.
He's
something wants to get inside with me, and he says that you want to sleep with me.
It's the fear of we'll go back to this in Freddy vs. Jason. It's sort of fear of being penetrated, fear of being a male and being penetrated, which informs so much horror. Throughout all the slasher franchises, but particularly here it has resonance because it's part of Jesse's overall psyche.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I kept looking at Grady in this scene and thinking, if he was 20 years younger, he could have absolutely been Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker. Like if they were going to do a Padme doubling situation with Anakin as well, he could have been other Anakin. You know
what I noticed in this scene?
Andy's as unreliable as a friend.
Completely. Every friend is unreliable in this series, though. They all fall asleep.
Yeah. That's so true.
So that's the norm. But one thing I noticed was he has a lot of kind of reaction acting in this scene, Grady. And it's all good.
Yeah. I mean, that's what also...
Because what's happening in front of him is big and ridiculous, but he takes it, like you literally watch him listen and consider and decide and respond. It's it's a really good moment for him, I think.
As well as the physical resemblance, that's what reminded me of Bruce Campbell, is that kind of, ability to be a kind of reaction-based actor. Because nobody giving you lines. When you have the transformation into Freddy, what's with the whale song?
I didn't notice.
There's like whale songs.
Really?
Over on the soundtrack as he transforms into Freddy, which is a really odd choice. Like I was like, are George and Gracie involved in this process? But I mean, that's
got to be a sequel fan.
That's an aesthetic nitpick, but on an audio level.
Because I was more focused on the stellar,
it's incredible
work of the prosthetics.
Magnificent prosthetic work. The hands, the arm, the stomach. It's so visceral, and I even like. I think the way they film it is really smart because they take it really slowly, so you almost feel like your skin is exploding because it happens so slowly and
I love that slight overhead shot right after he comes out, and then the Freddy rising.
Yeah, and again,
it's really good.
It's transformation themed around fear of predatory sexuality and penetration. So he's hating all the sexual parts of himself that are coming of age.
It's tearing him apart.
It's literally tearing him apart, like James Dean in A Rebel Without a Cause. Except he's more the Salmoneo character. Even though James Dean was actually gay. Bisexual. Anyway. Yeah, we get the full reveal of Freddy.
Yeah.
And it's a fully new idea as well of Freddy in the real world. That's what they should have called this movie. It'd be a sitcom spin-off, Freddy in the real world. Upscalian in the house. And
they really take their time with the moment, too. I like how much Grady's pounding on the door. He can't open it. the actual actor dad that comes up. It's actually the dad from Ferris Bueller.
Oh, yeah.
And he's banging on the door. You actually feel like you get character from both of them just in how they're yelling for each other, which is kind of nice. And then, of course, Grady gets it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is not him emerging into the real world, it's what they do once he's there that's the problem. Because this is where the inversion sort of falls apart for me a little bit, is they don't find anything genuinely scary to do with it once the transformation's over. It's like, now Freddy's in the real world, what now? And they never really answer that question. Like, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, and it's...
Like, what are his powers now? Why is everyone scared of him even though there's a million of them and one of him?
Right.
Like, it doesn't add up. I just think they haven't thought through, like, they've thought through the idea of let's turn it on its head and bring him into the real world, but they don't have an end game, I don't think, of why him going to becoming part of the real world is going to be scary. And I'm
focused on other things myself.
Well, of course you are, because you're evading the central problem of the scene.
But I'm not. I also I just thought of something that had never occurred to me before. If Freddy bursts out of Jesse's body in this moment, because Jesse leaves.
Jesse goes back.
He goes back to the party.
Does he?
And Freddy turns into him. He turns into Freddy again with Lisa, doesn't he?
I thought he comes. Isn't Jesse now inside him, or they're now the same person?
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, he bursts out of Jesse, but at the end of the movie, Jesse is inside of him when he burns. But doesn't
that's
Jesse...
not coded at all.
Yeah. Doesn't Jesse go to the party and Lisa is yelling at him to fight him, to fight him, to fight him?
But it's
and
just
then
his
he
voice,
falls
isn't
down
it?
And Freddy comes up.
Oh, you might be right.
So why does this happen twice?
Don't know.
I guess is my question.
Because they don't have an end game. They don't really know what's happening on a conceptual level at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not just this movie. Like, they fumble this, but it's just such a big part of this movie in particular that it stands out a little more.
Again, like, this wasn't... I never thought of this as the fumble that people thought it was. I mean, in response to there's 25 kids and one of him, but he's got razors, and when you're a kid, like...
But that's the thing, is that you can rationalize it if the movie gives you a way to do that. The problem is when he's pool party Freddy, when he pops out of the like a towel, you know, it's like a, what do you call it, like a towel chest that he pops out of.
Yeah, he just seems to pop out of the deck.
Yeah, pop out of the deck, exactly.
Yeah.
And then he runs around like he's just some lumbering old guy who got into someone's yard. And he just seems so easily defeatable at that point. To me, that's the problem. That it's just like, oh, a hobo got into the yard. How do we get him out? And everyone's kind of playing it that way too. Because there's the whole stuff with the guy where I got my original quote from, where the guy is like, "Can we help you? Like, what can we do to help you?" And it's like, well, don't treat him like he is a lumbering old guy, because then I'm just going to think of him as, you know, like Nick Nolte in the Beverly Hillbillies, or not Beverly Hillbillies, Beverly. What am I thinking of? Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
Yeah. There's that kid that says, "I'm here to help you."
Yeah.
And he gets his comeuppance, but I'm focused on other things.
I know,
because
you don't want to deal with the truth.
I always really like this scene.
It's a bit much. It's a bit much when he pops out like jazz hands, jazz blades. I mean, he does everything but goes ta-da.
Not bothering me at all.
It's just not well. To me, it's just not well executed, and I think.
But there's one part that is well executed to me,
could have been scary, and they don't capitalize on it.
There's one part that is well executed to me, and this is the part that I want to talk about the most, because I think it's the most interesting thing in the scene. Because there's a moment, like, quite famously, Robert Englund didn't start off with the job in this movie.
Oh, that's
they
right.
Actually they gave it to somebody else.
Just some guy. And that's fine. You know, like, everyone's like, oh, how could they fucking do that? They did it with every Halloween movie. They did it with every Friday the 13th movie. Kane Hodder asked like he was supposed to go from film to film. He never was.
Right.
That happened by accident, not design.
That fucking documentary was like, by the way, I played Freddy's hand, so I've actually played both characters. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
It's just the most... You're just praying for fire.
Unbelievable.
More fire, finish him off.
But my point is that Robert Englund contends that they kept some stuff, and I think it's this scene, or a part of this scene, because he said, take a look at the man's neck. His neck is so thick. That's not me. And then it's the moment where I think the parents are walking down, and he's just standing in profile. And he turns and walks away from them and walks through the bushes, and the bushes catch fire.
Yes.
You see that he's got his head down with the cap, the hat actually down a little bit so that you can't fully see his face. The lithe way in which that actor is both standing and moves as Freddy Krueger is one of my favorite things in the whole series. Yes.
So your favorite moment of Freddy Krueger is when he's not played by Robert Englund?
I think so.
Oh my god. I don't know you anymore.
Isn't that crazy?
That's the strangest thing I've ever heard come out of another human's mouth.
I know.
Mind you...
It doesn't make any sense.
Mind you, I'm the guy who's like, yeah, Halloween 3 is great, even though it doesn't have Michael Myers in it.
I love that moment, and I loved it the first time I saw it, and still love it to this day. I think the way he moves in that scene is like it's like a dancer. It's incredible.
Well, I have no comeback for that.
Excellent.
But because it is just innately ridiculous what you just said.
It's not.
You can't, you know, it's like...
Did you even know that it was him or wasn't him?
No, but when you said it, I thought, well, that accounts for the ersatz quality of this scene and why it just doesn't feel right. You've taken an entirely different track. You're like, oh no, you're like Martin Scorsese's dad. Oh no, that's the flavor. That's the flavor. You can't do it with that. Can't take out the pork. That's the flavor. 3 onions. Okay, yeah. I mean, again,
you can't push me off of this.
You have a special relationship with this movie, clearly. Beyond all objectivity is what you've just told me.
Yep.
Because you're saying that...
I have to cop to that on this one.
I mean...
I knew you were going to give me shit.
Would you have preferred it if Robert Englund stepped aside for this movie? So
of course not.
You could... just...
Here's something that's weird. When Robert Englund speaks on all things related to Nightmare on Elm Street, and he does that real, flowery, actors talk about it. Does it bother you?
He seems insufferable. Have you seen the documentary? The documentary about him?
Oh no!
Ha ha! I won. Yeah, there's a documentary about it.
You piece of shit.
And the way that you know that he's just... I mean, they talk about it in Never Sleep Again, where, you know, the makeup guys are trying to find, you know, the guy comes in and
right.
like, I have to wait for the moment when he stops speaking. It's like, and then the makeup artist...
Eventually, I just have to grab him by the neck.
It's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. You're just going to have to seize... Just find your moment and grab it. Yeah. He's never going to stop telling the story about when he met Bob Streisand. I've heard it. It ain't gonna... And it goes on for days.
Yeah.
And they have that thing that you always see, that you always know someone's just like an insufferable storyteller.
I feel like everybody gives him so much leeway because I think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Love him in these movies.
Yeah.
But if it was anybody else, talking like
He's
that,
very pretentious, obviously.
I would punch them straight in the mouth.
He seems like a very kind,
Yeah.
giving person, and I think that but I wouldn't want to, it would be like that scene in the monorail Simpsons episode with the guy next to Leonard Nimoy. Do you want to switch seats?
Yeah.
It wasn't those really weren't mechanical doors on Star Trek. It just seems insufferable, and they do that thing in the documentaries when you know that it's really hard to cut down their responses for the talking heads, where they start to like fade in and out of the story he's telling, and at that point that it goes on much, much longer.
Yes.
I think the other issue I have is that the journey into the real world, and I think we're both speaking to this, muddies Freddy's objectives. Like, is he planning? He's like, you're all my children now.
Yeah.
So is he gonna go around and finger blade them all?
Well, I guess I have to admit that the problem is they were all his children when he was a dream killer too.
He had a better chance of getting them at that point.
Yeah.
Than now when they outnumber him 15-1. And they're young and healthy, and he is a burnt husk of a human. Argue against that, fucker.
Yeah, you had a good counter strike there. Burnt husk of a human.
Listen, there's some good stuff in the scene. I think the fire is a good extrapolation because Yeah,
I was gonna say I like the fire.
He's now he died in fire, so he lives in fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the die by the sword, live by the sword, but in reverse. So I suppose it's what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Literally, fire nearly killed him, and now he can burn everyone else.
Here's the thing. You asked if I would replace Robert Englund. Of course I would not. But when you hear him talk about...
It's not a given how you've been talking.
Hang on. But when you hear him talk about this scene in particular, he talks about how he didn't understand it and didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But
that's
there
what it
was
looks like.
Some other actor that did. That's all I'm saying.
Something that an actor just wanted to cash a paycheck.
For at least one moment.
Oh, man. Yeah, I can't get on board with that. I'm sorry.
Well, then we go to the two-faced dog, and boy, do they keep cutting away from that quickly to get away from how terrible they look, I have to admit.
Conceptually, it should work, but it looks like dogs in masks.
Yeah.
Just looks like you put a couple of masks on some dogs. The idea potential, I mean, it's the essence of the uncanny, isn't it? Like, you're expecting a dog face, and it's a human
get a baby face.
But you relate to dogs like humans and babies, so it should make sense, but it's grotesque. But it's not grotesque, it's just inept. And the dog, you can tell the dog underneath the mask is so confused as well as to what's supposed to be happening.
All right, second good point.
Well, the other you skipped over. I was also gonna say I like when he starts speaking in Jesse's voice to try and lure Pan from Seinfeld in around the pool, and I was like, because then you're like, okay, who's in control? Is Freddy is that Jesse speaking from within Freddy, or is it one of Freddy's tricks? Mm-hmm. And that's a kind of game you can play with the audience with this possession storyline.
Sure,
you can play it both ways. So there is interest in there, but this sequence kind of doesn't sell what I think is a fine idea.
Yeah,
that Freddy could come out of your dreams and into your car. Do you know that reference? I don't even know if you know that reference. Get
I thought you
out
meant
of my dreams.
Yeah.
Into my car. Okay, good. Well, I don't know with you in music.
Well, the only reason I know it is because of the movie License to Drive.
Yeah.
Thank you, Corey's.
I can't. Someone out there who's got more time on their hands than I have needs to re-edit the ending, the final jump scare scene of Nightmare, and put the "Get Out of My Dreams" into my
That's
car
good.
over it, because it would fit perfectly. Yeah,
Love it.
but again, like, I give credit to the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like the Hounds of Hell,
Yeah.
the
Like,
uncanny,
that's a fine idea.
and you know
Not
the
great in execution.
match, with the real world element of the dogs that guard junkyards.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I like that. Again, we go back to the boiler room at the end.
Yeah.
So we're sort of circling back to the beginning of the first film. But this is reality. This is reality now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're flipping it on its head. Like, the boiler room now exists in the real world, not in the dream world.
But that's the thing. Once he comes into the real world, he still, he magically fires up the bushes. So he still seems to
I like
have
that part. Yeah.
some powers.
But then he lumbers around and looks confused, and then the kids are confused, and it's confusing. It's just not scary. I get that they're alarmed, but I'm not scared.
I could say that about a lot of these sequels, though.
There's usually more, even in this film. There's usually more of an intentionality behind it when
Freddy appears.
when they want to do something silly like that.
Oh, I see.
This just feels like not committing to the bit.
I still like the idea of it. I wish they
I like the idea of it too. I think
they didn't clearly delineate enough, but if there was just a goal that he had,
absolutely,
beyond coming into the real world, but the why of it. Why do you want to come to the real world?
Exactly.
That one little thing.
Yeah, but it's kind of important where screenplays are concerned, right? That
Agreed.
you can't have characters just go, "Okay, I've achieved my goal." What was my goal? Oh, I don't have one. Okay, well, I guess I'll go back then.
Not bumping me.
Yeah.
Don't care. Don't fucking care.
The boiler room, I think. I have a couple. Well, I should probably save that for when we do the original on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
But how much is what he reads in the diary at the pool party?
Yeah.
How much is that what we already know, and how much of it is?
Well, the diary is before the pool party.
But he goes back to the diary because he says like, "Oh, when he reads the final entry."
Is it how she beat him?
Yeah, and I can't remember whether that's exactly how it goes in the movie or whether they extrapolate a little bit. But we'll see when we get to there. And
all right.
And again, it feels like the boiler room is far more multicolored than the first time we saw it.
Sure.
But that's again like the door changing color, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we haven't really talked about this, but the screenwriter of this movie made public comments where he said he was actually writing this movie from a position of homophobia rather than homoeroticism.
Yeah.
And then he withdrew that and said it was a bad joke. I'm not so sure.
I'm not sold on that.
I'm not sold that he didn't have homophobic I think what he's doing is less homophobic than exploitative. Like,
mm-hmm.
Gay issues were in the zeitgeist because of AIDS.
Sure.
And he thought, as a lot of, horror filmmakers do, there's nothing wrong with this, that, we can comment on that in our horror film and we can exploit it.
Sure.
But the tone of this ending, like, he's kind of saved by the love of a good woman.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the homophobia really hits for me. The rest of it can be interpreted as kind of positive commentary, like we want him to
become his true self.
But here it's sort of like, actually no, this is the conversion therapy ending that
mm-hmm.
He just needs to learn how to be better.
Well, he has
women.
to deny who he is to be saved.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I suppose the other issue, the other muddy part of it is, I get Freddy can create fire, sort of get that.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he burn? Like, because he can create fire, but if you fight him with fire, he'll burn.
Because you have to say, I love you first.
Oh, okay.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I can't hold it against this particular movie. I have no idea how he dies.
Well, also...
or is revived from movie to movie. They never pin it down.
Well, they never give you a true reason. I mean, in the next movie, a dog's going to piss fire. But what I like is...
2 movies from now.
No, that's in 3, right?
No, it's 4.
Oh, you're right. All right.
Of course it's 4. That was Rennie Harlan's dream.
Rennie Harlan's dream, you're right. But I'll move past that quickly. You're being right.
Let's minimize everything I said that's right.
But there's a Snow White aspect to it, too, because she kisses Freddy.
Mm.
And then maybe, like, that's retconning, my self-retconning, but maybe that makes him susceptible to the fire.
Okay. What I do like,
You'll move past that.
I just, you can't argue against pure invention like this. You're imagining a scene in your mind that's not in the movie. There's nothing I can do with that. I'm not the Dream Police.
It's what happened. It's
what
happened in the movie. She kisses him.
Yeah, it goes very visceral and literal with Jesse
crawling out of the ash
inside the burnt husk of Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's where they kind of depart from symbolism and they're just like, well, let's just say he's physically inside Freddy, and Freddy is just his like turtle shell.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting to play it both ways.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and then we loop back to the school bus.
I can't remember, going back just for a moment to the fire, because the rails catch fire. There's something... Is there like a gasoline or something that... You know, when the whole fucking arena kind of catches fire, and then he catches fire?
I don't remember.
I can't remember if it was something she did. Other than, of course, kiss him.
Mm. That's all it takes, the love of a good woman.
Yep. All right, yeah, bus.
So, how can he walk back the murders? How does no one associate the various murders that have happened in the movie with him?
Mm-hmm.
Because he just kind of, unless all of this is a dream and...
Because the movie's over.
He dies unless he just dies in a jail cell and this is his dying dream.
Right.
And it's notable as well. I think, this is it. There's nothing here.
You know, and it's different, actually.
There's nothing real here, is there?
No, yeah, because it's different than the original movie. In the original movie, all the friends are alive again. And in this one, just the survivors are.
And they're kind of laughing about the party. So it feels too soon to be doing that.
Yeah.
But I think that's the dream. I think that's when you know that it's a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, you revert to the original practice, and I'm sure Robert Shea insisted on this once again, of the final fright jump scare moment.
The hand burst.
Yeah. And I like the idea, and we don't get this enough in the series, that of recurring dreams, right? Having the same dream over and over again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's weird. That's such a big part of our...
One movie you don't like does that.
It does?
Or is that the movie you like? Which one does that? 4 or 5?
The time loop?
Yeah.
Well, that's a time... that's a time loop, I'd say, more than a... That's like dream time rather than...
It's related.
Yeah. Well, I like both of them.
I'm going to put a little tally mark.
But it's nice framing of the movie with the same dream and having you fall for it.
Bookends it well.
A second time. And the other advantage of it is that you can defer explanation of the outcome of your movie till the next time. And if you choose not to go back to these characters, which they very much did, not.
Right.
You never have to think about them again. So,
all right. always some. I mean, I know you have a credit check for us.
Not much. I only have one credit note for this.
But
movie.
always some, like, there's often some interesting credit music.
That's my only note.
The Bing Crosby?
1920s end credit outro song. It seems to have been picked for the title, not the tone.
Mm-hmm.
I headcanoned it that Lisa's father's still DJing over the credits. Because this seems like a song he would choose, right?
True. Yeah.
He's playing Benny Goodman records at a kid's party. Yeah, that's my only credit check now. Feels like I should have more. Maybe.
No related crew members?
Not that I was aware of. No, that's my only credit. My only credit check here. That doesn't feel right. Maybe I'll have to do a credit recheck for the first time.
All right.
I feel like I've missed something.
Well, you can check it again, and we'll talk about it if we have time.
Well, I had to buy all these movies, so I have
I
access
did.
to the credits. Yeah. I bought
them last year. It was a good sale.
I don't think mine was that great a sale.
Ooh,
but
I was excited.
I have pre-ordered the steelbook, the steel jacket. Steel jacket, steelbook. What do you call them? Steelbook?
Yeah, I like steel jacket.
But it's not, is it? It's steelbook.
I like jacket.
Okay. Which comes with a pair of 3D glasses.
Oh, nice.
So you can watch the 3D scene from Freddy's Dead in real 3D.
If you have a 3D TV.
No, the glasses. I presumably just switch to 3D for that scene, right?
I think you
better do for the amount I'm paying for it.
I think you have to have a special television.
Oh, you're kidding me. But couldn't they just have that scene in 3D? You can do 3D on normal televisions.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll take it up. I'll take it up with.
Let's reserve judgment.
Take it up with New Line. But anyway, yeah.
All right, that's it then.
Yeah.
Anything left for you?
No, I mean, I certainly appreciated it more talking to you about it. I mean, you've definitely drunk the Kool-Aid on some aspects of this movie that I'll never get on board with. I'm just gonna take my crying baby out of Jonestown instead.
But it's
run
pretty fucking good.
Run into the desert and hope there's an activist somewhere I can lean on to get me out of the country. But yeah, I think I really just a couple.
Are you sure it's fruit punch? All right.
I'll wait for Martin Scorsese's film about the Jonestown Massacre called Kool-Aid. But the problems I realized going through this episode, the problems I have with the movie are pretty few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's just a couple of scenes where they could do better.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think...
Well, why is it at the top of your list?
Because its lasting legacy goes beyond any of the other films.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all.
Well, fine. You have your own opinion.
Compared to New Nightmare or Dream Warriors?
Yeah, I think this movie has, because of the manner in which it was made, the way they say they were blind to what they were making, and what they actually made, is a far more interesting conversation than any of the other movies. And that's its legacy. And its legacy is to end up being kind of a beacon in a genre, frankly, that is not for that community, and say you can be here and you can join us.
I think that community is well into their horror films.
Well, I think they're into horror films, but I don't know that horror films speak to their community often.
Interesting.
And that legacy is too interesting for me to, care about the movie's flaws.
I don't know if it's at the expense of the other movies, though, I think there are just as interesting conversations you could have about New Nightmare and
New
and
Nightmare
Dream
is
Master and Dream
the
Master.
closest one.
I think, yeah. I mean, this is certainly a richer movie than it's been given credit for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's exceptional in the series in that respect.
No other single movie in the series spawned, say, a documentary film about them.
Okay.
Choke on that.
Well, I guess I'll have to go out and make a new Nightmare documentary. The original Scream ?
Can bums make a movie?
The Rennie Harlan story.
The Dream Master story.
I don't. Maybe then my if that is true, let's say I believe that.
And it is.
No, let's say I believe that's true for the sake of argument. I don't think that makes it a more important movie or a better Nightmare movie. So again, I don't think it necessarily should be at the top of your list for that reason.
Fine.
I think the fact that
I don't care what you think.
the fact that your favorite moment of the series is in this movie, and it involves the one time Robert Englund didn't play Freddy Krueger on screen.
I know. I admit that's odd.
Is the reason this is at the top of your list because of that mentality? Yeah.
Stop trying to poke holes. You're not going to get me to change my mind.
No, I don't. No, I'm no. You're more likely to get me to change my mind. I'm not going to put it at the top, but
having said that, I mean, it really was close. I came away from thinking about my rankings saying I should do this other movie, but I'm going to do this movie. So.
Okay. Yeah, all right. That's fine. As I say, it's a good movie. I agree that as a standalone movie, it works really well. I think it's a good showing for Nightmare. There are just kind of better movies in the better, more accomplished movies in the series. I think it's
fine.
Be my only counter argument. But certainly,
well, I stopped listening.
Certainly, if you're one of the if you're one of those people who have dismissed this movie out of hand because of what people have said about it, you certainly need to revisit it and take it seriously. I think that's what we're both saying and agreeing on.
Well, and also I guess part of the influence for me is going back and watching all of these movies 3 years ago too. And when I did, having watched this movie really smacked me in the face because I saw it way back when. I was as oblivious as the people who made the movie. I don't know how I was, but looking at it now.
Well, you were, but you didn't make the movie. You didn't make the choices that led to the meanings of the scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
So it's not on you to miss it. You could miss it as the viewer.
In fact, I think when I saw this movie in theaters, and I think I felt disappointed because I wanted, I don't think people really know what they want when they go to see a sequel one.
True.
But I think I was so wrapped up in Wes Craven and wanted what he gave me that I was like, I don't know about this. And then I discounted it, and then years later coming back to it, it was such a shock that also raised it in my estimation.
Yeah, and I think it, if you compare it to the other slasher franchises we've done, there's definitely a doubling down in the second movie. Halloween 2, picks up exactly where the last movie left off, so it's literally a continuation, trying to create a two-part story. And
Friday the 13th Part 2 is Saturday the 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't it like 10 years later or something crazy?
I don't think so.
I think it's the day later.
That's Saturday the 14th.
But I don't think it's the day afterwards, though. It's like a Saturday the 14th in the future. There's definitely a time lapse because Jason has to get out of the lake, go to his wood gym, find that bag.
Wait, does he find her at the apartment?
Yeah. Yeah, time has definitely passed. It's like
All
a year or something. But anyway, but it doesn't pick up in real time. But the Friday the 13th Part 2 isn't trying to necessarily do anything different. It's just got a better director with better ideas about how to do things. And just kind of expand the canvas a little bit. But this is not expanding the canvas. This is a
new canvas.
It's a redraft of the idea of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
And all the better for it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to settle this debate, I suppose, and tell us what you think about
debate.
I almost said Friday. About Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
It's pronounced Freddy.
Freddy's Revenge.
Not Friday, Freddy. There's not really a debate here. It's just, you've lost.
But we're having a back and forth.
You've lost oxygen to your brain, and
I have an honest disagreement.
No, I mean, no, not.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but there's proportionally liking a good movie, and then there's what you've got going on.
Mm-hmm.
But we're sort of singing from the same hymn sheet. Don't sleep on this movie.
Yeah. All right. Find us on all the things and show us and tell us and whatever you got to do to tell us what you think about this movie and settle this debate for us. So it's the books and the grams and the threads and the X's and the so-ons and the so-forths. And Tom's wrong, right?
And the bitch.
So much bitch talk in this fucking series.
Not yet. No bitch talk. Yeah.
And not one...
It's all fucker.
And not one gay intoned bitch in this movie.
I know. Of all the movies where you
really
could
missed their
say
mark.
Bitch and it would be in context. And it's not said.
What were they thinking?
Well, apparently they weren't thinking anything.
I thought we were going to be done in right around 2 hours, and we're growing to almost 2:10.
They closed their eyes and they made a movie, and then they watched it afterwards and they're like, "Oh no, we made a gay movie! How did
Pretty
that happen?
gay.
My eyes were closed the whole time."
Why the hell did I zoom in on him popping that fucking pop thing right in front of his own dick?
If anything, you think I want to cut it out of the sequence if I thought it was too gay.
I seem to have liked it.
Men are not helping their reputations by continuing this charade.
Or send an email to everythingsequel@gmail.com. That's it. All right, let's see if I can get this title right. When you hear us next time, we'll be talking A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Not the one where the dog pisses fire.
Yeah, that's the next one.
To resurrect Freddy.
After the next one.
Mm-hmm. My favorite.
We'll get there.
My favorite moment.
In all the movies?
Could be.
Or just in that movie?
In that movie. Could be in the whole series.
Excellent.
You certainly don't see it coming.
It's no thick-neck Freddy walking away, but it's pretty good.
I suppose you would have preferred it if like the fire, like he sort of pissed the fire into the air and it exploded a bird.
Yeah. Now you're talking quality filmmaking. You gotta get just the right angle too. Slightly down, feathers falling down, eyes up.
And fucking Tommy Tune came in with a hat on and danced his way through the scene.
Pure gold, baby. All right, his name's Tom Stewart. He's from Lonesome Whistle Productions. I'm Michael Shantz. I'm from the How Dare You Awards. Like I said, coming up next, Dream Warriors. Say goodbye to everybody, Tom.
All right, then. What is it? I mean, bird rabies? It's that cheap seed you've been buying.
Yeah, he blames the wife, too.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little, there's a lot of real estate spent on why did the bird explode.
Yes.
Which, I don't know, I think they think that makes it better, but I actually think it makes it worse. I think once the bird explodes, it would be better if nobody ever mentioned it again.
There's a lot of real estate. Isn't there a lot of real estate in that documentary about why Clu Gallagher didn't get a blowjob in that movie?
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave you on that happy note. We'll be back. We'll be back for Dream Warriors. Thanks for listening.